Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm here for the interview on the labor and delivery floor. I'm super excited. Okay, let's get started. First, tell me about yourself. I just recently graduated from nursing school from FSCJ, and I came out with a lot of A's. And I know people say C's get degrees, but it was a personal goal of mine to succeed in that department and make good grades. I actually came out with probably a 3.5, 3.6 GPA. I'd have to double check. Prior to that, I was a student at Texas Tech University. I was initially a pre-med student. I wanted to go towards being an OBGYN, but with different life experiences and influences, I decided to go the nursing route is where my heart was leading me. My mom actually was a single mom who was a labor and delivery nurse, and she inspired me with everything she did, the way she came home from work and seemed satisfied with her job. Dinner time conversation was all about health promotion. We were very fortunate to have had a mom who educated us so much in that department. As well as she encouraged me to join groups like HOSA during high school, where I was able to experience some educational opportunities, meet with healthcare workers, and I was even a part of a few like community outreach stuff with the students at our school where we would do educational opportunities often on like sexual health, sexual reproduction. We were just kind of providing students with resources. As well as I was involved in, I took medical terminology, anatomy, and physiology, all starting off in high school. So my passion was very rooted in a young age. And I was fortunate enough to have taken a practicum class where I was able to do some shadowing when I was in high school. And that was a really cool experience and opened my mind and kind of solidified my interests. For the last, 5 years, I had been a waitress or a server at restaurants, and I actually stuck with the same company for 5 years. I started off as a hostess and was promoted up to server the time I turned 18. And even though I traveled to go to a school, I traveled to move to South Carolina, I stuck with the same company, and I had excellent recommendations to my new locations from my prior managers. What is your ideal work environment? I've had a variety of work environments. Even though most of my work experiences were within the same company, obviously things change with different personalities, locations, everything. But I've been very fortunate that I've had really good work environments. Everybody seems to treat each other with respect and decency and wants to help each other. It's kind of a family environment, which I think is very beneficial for not only workers, but as well as, your clients, or as a server or as a nurse, it would be your patients. And I think that it makes a huge difference on communication, on having clear expectations on what's to be expected. Tell me about a challenge or conflict you have faced and how you dealt with it. I want to start with the fact that people are human. They make human mistakes, say human things, and we have a human understanding of what we perceive. I've witnessed gossiping, disrespect, you name it, because people are human. But I had one rather toxic experience with somebody, and it kind of sticks with me to this day. It was a woman who confided in me because I was a very open person. I like to conversate, and I made people feel comfortable. But I think I made her feel a little too comfortable because she confided in me in a very disrespectful manner about a busboy we had on the staff who was Mexican, and she kind of correlated his poor work ethic to his culture and who he was. And I had to have a very serious conversation with her. I wasn't management. I wasn't ready to have her scrutinized by management, but I really did want to educate her on why it was inappropriate, why it was wrong, not only for any time in history, but especially right now. And my husband is Mexican, so I have a lot of familiarity with the culture and the feelings they have towards people who maybe don't perceive them the way they perceive themselves. And so it was an interesting conversation. I think she came out learning from it because of the way I addressed it. Instead of scrutinizing and making her feel belittled, she grew from it. It was very cool and kind of sad, but cool. How do you deal with pressure and stressful situations? With flying colors. I'd like to reflect and compare and contrast serving with nursing because, let's be honest, they're very high functioning, quick. You have to multitask, manage many things on your plate, both literally and figuratively when you're a server. But being under all that high stress, I feel like I've always performed optimally. I do my best work when I'm under stress, and it's kind of about stepping back from that moment in stress and evaluating and planning out the best way to handle that situation. I'm very good at it. I've gotten a lot of practice in it. Okay, last question. Describe a time when a group you were a member of made a decision which you did not agree. Okay. Well, first off, we all agreed on stuff, like, we wouldn't really grow, would we? Conflict is a part of life. It's normal. It's healthy. I think there is a way to handle conflicts, and that is with respect for other people's opinions. There is, you're also in control of how you react. So if somebody says something you do not agree with, or they are making suggestions, evaluate yourself first. Recognize your biases. But you're also part of a team, so it's important to collaborate on those ideas and come in with open communication, an open mind, and a willingness to view things differently. I recently, in my final term of nursing school, we were supposed to do a group project on a quality improvement measure. And I had specifically reached out to a couple people in my class who were of like mind as me. We all three wanted to do maternity or something to do with women. And so I was like, hey guys, let's do a project together. Maybe we can do it on like breastfeeding, postpartum depression. And everyone was very game. And then we had invited another person to our group who wasn't necessarily of like mind as us, but they're very smart. And so we were super excited. We're like, this is gonna be a great project. And he ended up having differences about it. And initially he was like, wow, I don't really know anything about it. And we were kind of like, oh, like this is what we wanted to do. But he was like, but I'm very willing to learn and educate myself. I'm excited. And I think that kind of flipped our perspective on it. The fact that he was so willing to grow and learn and was open-minded kind of changed ours. So we kept the discussion going and we kept an open mind, and we eventually all came to a conclusion about a topic, and it was actually so much better than we could have imagined. And I think going in, when you come into a group and everyone's feeling differently, it is so important to be open-minded, be willing to change your mind. But then there's the time that you're advocating for somebody. If you really strongly do believe in something and somebody's well-being is at risk, I think it's important to stand up for what you believe. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Bye.